tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh yeah, bring that pirate music in.
Give me that harpsichord.
Give me that
harpsichord.
Give me that pirate music. Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to another Black Sails After Show. Tonight we are talking Season 3, Episode 4, or XXII. What is that, 22?
Yes.
And before we dive into the episode, just want to make sure all y'all out there are subscribed to us on YouTube, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. You can also catch all of our after shows, including all the other shows that we do here at AfterBuzz, because we do a ton on iTunes and SoundCloud. And when you're on iTunes, be sure to leave us a 5-star review because you love us so much, and write us a nice little comment. Maybe we'll read it on air for you. I'm Lauren Salaun. You can find me everywhere online at Lauren Salaun, and I'm super excited to be back. I was gone last week, and it feels good to be hearing this music and to be back here with you ladies. And
yeah, we missed you.
We did. It was a good episode.
Thank you. I know it was a good one.
It was great. And Nadine Della Pelle, and you can find me all over social media at Nadine DP and the number 3.
And hi guys, Keetin here, and I'm back, and I'm kind of in a food coma. Lauren and I literally just ate McDonald's because I've been too busy. I have no food at home. I've literally been living off protein shakes and then McDonald's today, which is not recommended. No, don't.
Healthy diet.
Don't down a Big Mac right before an AfterBuzz show. This is something you learn, and I'm learning. But yeah, so you guys can follow me on social media at Keetin Marchi all across the board. And before we dive into the episode, speaking of food, I know I talked about Blue Apron last week, but in case you missed it, let me talk a little bit about Blue Apron this week. Lauren and I would not have had to get Mackers.
This is true.
Had we not had food at our house to cook easily and quickly, which Blue Apron allows you to do. It is an amazing company that basically sends the ingredients for home-cooked meals directly to your door, and it gives you the step-by-step instructions on how to make these delicious and healthy meals, and it's for less than $10 per meal. It's a great deal, and for those of you who hate going to the grocery store, such as myself, it makes life a whole lot easier. So make sure you check out Blue Apron. You can get your first 2 meals for free. Oh, I didn't know that. For free at blueapron.com/podcast. That's blueapron.com/podcast. Blue Apron. It's a better way to cook and not McDonald's.
I actually got some Blue Apron for Christmas, and I have yet to redeem it. But
dude, you gotta redeem it.
It's so easy if you're busy. If you want to still eat fresh and cook your own food, you get it. Everything you need to make.
Do you know what I love about
meals.
it? I love that when you order it, and if you really like a meal, you can kind of take note of the ingredients that are in that meal, and you've made it once, so then you can go and redo it yourself.
Yeah, and
if you really want to.
Fancy chef.
So ladies, next week, no McDonald's, Blue Apron, get prepared.
Make your healthy food. Okay.
Dive into this episode. Yes. It was so good.
It was
a new important
so good.
character. Multiple new important.
Several new people. There was
characters.
a lot of change with this episode. Overall, I think we had some really awesome action scenes and just beautiful. We've talked about this before, but this show is just gorgeous. From the jungle scenes we saw this week to the ocean scene, the fiery ship, everything to the murder.
The jungle scenes were real. All the ocean scenes are VFX.
Right. I know it's fake.
Yay, VFX people for making things look so pretty.
They do such a good job with it.
But do you know what's cool? The scene when they were kind of walking the Flint's men through kind of the jungle, and there's a giant cliff in the back, the flat top rock. That was real. That was not
really.
visual effects.
They found that. No way.
Well, they're South Africa. Africa's a beautiful country.
Yeah, and I think that was the first time too we've really seen jungle parts. This season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
it is.
I loved it. We've seen more water this season. It's been very filled with
greenery.
Water scenes. Yeah. So we had the nice greenery, the trees, the shrubbery. It was nice.
I liked mixing that up with a little bit more nature.
We got some Indiana Jones deaths. The guy falling in the thing and getting stabbed.
That was
very Indiana Jones like.
Yeah,
and
that was
tons of new
aggressive.
characters. I mean, 2 key new female characters for sure.
Who are rock stars.
Yeah, which is really refreshing because we didn't see Max at all this episode, did we?
No Max.
Yeah,
wasn't
no
in it.
Max. And, in general, we are lacking for strong female characters, a very dominantly male
Pirate show.
cast. Yes, pirates.
Dudes.
Way back
Just
in the
sausage
day.
fest. Literally.
We are not too unhappy about that, though, generally
No.
speaking.
Vane kept his
Vane.
shirt on all episode, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I was
So
gonna
did
say
Billy.
Dang it.
And Flint.
But I know. Come on, guys. I mean, we're not trying to objectify
Silver,
you
you're
or
cute
anything.
no matter what you do.
But the roles that these females are playing, though, they're very dominant roles.
Yes.
I think it's just to compensate that there's a lack of female presence
Exactly.
there. So I just found it, I don't know, I think it was just a little cliche finding out that another woman was running the whole island, another island.
But you know what I thought, again, was a little funny was, I feel like they avoid love stories in this show so much that even though she obviously has a king and they mention the king and we see who the king is at the end of the episode, there's we don't see that interaction. So I hope we can see a little bit of a love romance thing. Give us something, Black Sails.
Right,
Yeah.
I know. We've been lacking for romance for a while, I feel like.
Oh,
It's
a very
heartache.
long time.
I mean, the whole premise
no
is just
romance
heartache.
at all this entire
Yeah.
season.
Right, exactly. And yeah, so let's talk about that. So Silver and Flint and crew are marooned on this island and taken captive, by the natives there. And apparently, so I just said marooned, so this no pun intended, but apparently the people on the island are called Maroons, and they were real people who were kind of like an alliance between Caribbean and escaped slaves from Africa. So that was like historically who these people were. And so they've got the pirates captive. They encounter Ben Gunn, this other
Treasure
guy.
Island
Yes.
character.
Exactly.
He's not dying anytime soon.
He's a cutie, I'll just throw that
know,
out.
I can't wait
I
till they
liked
freshen him
it.
up.
I know.
a little bit.
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking too. I'm like, dang, he's been in there
His
for a
eyes, look at
while.
those
I know,
eyes.
and look how he's still
He
looking.
looks like
though.
he's been soaking in salt water for a long time and then laid out in the sun. Like,
And even tried to escape and made it back, and he still looks like that.
I think he's gonna clean up nice.
Yeah.
And I love his accent. Super
Oh,
cute.
of
Super
course,
cute.
Of course.
yes. So we've got all our boys in this predicament that seems pretty hopeless. We've got, the queen and her daughter kind of running things around there, which is a really cool thing. Like you said,
Yeah.
we had Eleanor previously kind of running Nassau, and now we have more, and now with Max running things there, and now we have more female characters kind of dominating the scene and the leadership roles.
Do you know what's funny though? I understand exactly why they have this reaction. Exactly why the queen has this reaction. Why would they have any other reaction? It's a crew of pirates. Why should she trust them, first of all? Of
course.
They are safe and they are able to live the lives they want to live because they are still secret. Nobody knows where their island is. Nobody knows who they are or that they're even there. So, why would you want to let anybody leave your island and have them have the ability to tell people about who's there and where you are and all that stuff? So, I don't know. I think I agree with Flint when he was telling Billy, she's not going to let us leave here alive.
I think it was a great speech that she gave her daughter, too. Basically saying that she's lived through all these hardships. That she was once a slave. She was beaten. She was, tortured. And you have no idea what I went through, so why would I ever trust these people that are coming onto our island right now? They could be whoever they want to be.
Exactly.
For you,
Exactly. And obviously we know they're not going to all get killed, but I think we'll probably see some death next week through that.
I mean, we saw one already.
Right.
With the Indiana
Well, we
Jones
saw a lot of
Yeah.
we got
Yeah,
there.
well, in the beginning.
A lot of people did.
Yeah. So I mean, let's talk about the whole Mr. Scott thing a
Holy
little
crap,
bit, right?
Were you guys shocked? Because
Yes.
I was very shocked.
Completely.
you know what? It was kind of in the back of my mind. I'm like, I wonder who could be. I bet you we've probably met or gone past. And then I was like, no, it wouldn't be Mr. Scott. I talked
You
myself
thought there was
out.
a correlation?
I talked
Yeah.
myself out of it being Mr. Scott. I'm like, there's no way. But then as soon as I saw it was Mr. Scott, I'm like, that makes so much sense why he had such a close relationship with Eleanor and because that was his surrogate daughter.
Yeah,
Makes
but
sense.
the fact that he was so close with Eleanor and helped her with the island, running the island, but yet he left his family and didn't help them with their running of the island.
Right.
There. It was
No, I think he's doing what he needs to do to be able to allow his family to thrive and the whole community they've created to thrive there. I just now so badly want more Mr. Scott backstory. Like, how did they get to this place? Like, how did he then get to Nassau and work his way up?
Yeah, exactly. Because he's been kind of an extra character, I feel like, for me at least, since, you know, there was a lot more of him in season 1, I feel like, with Eleanor really running things and her dad still being alive. But then he kind of like faded into the background and hasn't been all that influential or really important. You know, he's kind of Eleanor's like voice of reason at times, but haven't felt like he was that interesting.
Well, him and Eleanor kind of broke up.
Right.
They kind of had a breakup, and like he's like, no, I'm gonna be a pirate now.
Exactly. So this, and knowing this, I think I'm gonna be a pirate. Never mind.
I'm gonna be a pirate now.
So this makes him so much more interesting for sure, and hopefully we get some more backstory there. You know, they haven't really showed us. I don't think we've really seen any flashbacks this season so far.
Well, it makes
have
sense
we?
too how he was. Oh, flashbacks this season?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, last season we had so many of them. So who knows if we'll see any flashbacks?
We're not getting
but
flashbacks.
hopefully-
We're getting dream sequences.
Right,
Yeah, that's all
dream
we're getting, which are
sequences
different.
with Flint, and then like discussed flashback, you know, history, like with Blackbeard and Vane and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it shows his whole interest too, Mr. Scott's interest with the slaves that are helping with the fort now. Because, I mean, there was an underlying reason why he was very much so helping them is because to escape later on.
Well, and, you know, as much as the only thing we really know about Mr. Scott at this point is that he was a slave who worked his way up with the Guthries. And so that's why I'm like, what is his timeline? How long has he been away from his family? Like, or did he sneak off to see them everyone? Like, I'm just like, how did this work?
Because he's essentially raised Eleanor for a
that's
good
what
chunk of
I
her
understood.
life.
So it's like,
And so I wonder, did Eleanor's father know about this? And he'd be like, oh, I need some vacation days, you know, go see the fam.
Yeah,
like,
how do you just leave and nobody
how
notices
does
that
this
you're
work?
gone for that long? You
Because
go
he
see the
hasn't
fam.
seen them in a long time.
because I can't imagine this island being super close to Nassau, considering how secretive it is at this point.
Right.
So I don't know. It'll be very, very interesting to see.
Also, the fact that if he is the one that's helping that island survive and give them supplies and all, etc., was he maybe stealing from Eleanor, even though he was supposedly the one that was supposed to be her right-hand man?
Drama.
So was he actually not as
Controversy.
loyal as he kind of let on? I don't know.
I hope we get some
No,
more, like...
I mean, now it shows that she was not his first priority, obviously, in the entire thing.
right.
But keeping her on track was his priority so that he could continue
I mean, see, I trust him though. Still,
I
as,
still like Mr.
Like
Scott.
a good. He's like
He's
a
a good
good
dude.
person.
He's a good
you know?
dude.
So I feel like he wouldn't. I think he cares about Eleanor.
Maybe.
Even
Well, and
though
Eleanor did him
there's a
dirty
rift,
too.
even though
Eleanor
there's
did
a
him
rift.
real dirty.
Eleanor's done everyone dirty.
Right.
Jesus, who hasn't she?
that
This
girl.
girl, seriously.
She is. They are making her a much more interesting character this
Yes,
season. I have to.
definitely.
She hasn't made any major mistakes yet.
And-
She's walking on eggshells right now.
Yeah.
She has to. She's on the ship with all the British.
In the chat, Silver Hawkins, cool name, Silver Hawkins, first of all, says that the Island Queen's problem is similar to that of the Nassau Pirates. England is coming, and with its arrival, you can't stay hidden for long, which is why they will eventually work together, which I completely agree with, because the pirates are in the same thing. Like, do you try and hide and avoid the situation? No, because that's not going to be good TV, and that's not any of our pirates, you know, character to do that. Or do you go, like, balls to the wall, like vengeance mode, you know?
And that's
on
what the
attack.
princess is arguing with her mom, and like I think why she's now trying to be a little bit more active because she's obviously gotten older. She's going to be taking over for her mom eventually, but she has different ideas about how to run the island than her mom does. And now she's at an age where she's like seeing all these things happen, and she sees these men, and she's like, wait, why are we throwing out like destroying perfectly good men who literally want to, or is telling us, or all telling us that they're fighting against the same enemy, and that's England. And you know, as much as the pirates never wanted to rally together, the only reason they still have Nassau, honestly, is because they're like sticking together and they're keeping the English off the shore. So it's like, okay, I understand where the Queen's coming from because it makes sense, but it's like the longevity of it, I don't know. The princess is thinking ahead.
Yeah. Did you think it was too much, the plot line, the fact that Silver was saying that he needs to find an open mind on the beach, basically, and then he was looking and saying the daughter may be the one, and then the daughter calls him in to have this whole discussion? I didn't really like how that was written.
Like, so
you know
convenient.
what I mean? Like, it was just like, oh, I was just talking about this with my buddy. Oh, and here you are in the middle of the night to wake me up. And
Well,
have
he's a
discussion.
quartermaster.
I know.
Like,
Right,
if
so
he's going
she
to talk to
knows-
anybody, she
yeah.
knows he's the voice of the men. Like, that's the person, her mom, she saw her mom was the one who singled out to actually ask a question to and to give their story from. So if there's anybody she's going to get a story from, that's...
Yeah, I'm just saying
So
with the writing,
is
it was
a little
just too
commutable.
convenient.
And I would
for
say
me.
on that point is that things moved very quickly this episode. You know, they only just got captured, and then so that all moved very fast to them being captured. Now there's all these new people, and then they're in this discussion and potentially going to be killed by them. So I do feel like we could have had more build up to all of that in the beginning, because it did happen quickly.
But I think every single one of these episodes, except the pilot of this season, or not the pilot, but the first episode of the season, every single one of them have had these super quick paces, which I've liked.
Yes.
They've stuck a lot of things in these episodes, and it's made each episode feel like it could stand so strongly alone, and I think it's made this season the strongest yet.
Right. Well, because I would say
There's
that
no
last season,
exposition.
I think last season was so much talking and so much political stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so it is good to have
Well, the backstory's out of the way.
Yeah.
All the backstory's out of the way. Now it's just fun. Now it's
Right,
just fighting
right.
and fun and
fighting
excitement.
fun.
Well, and I also think they're getting better, like with like how, you know, I think they've now been able to look back on 2 seasons, which episodes did the best, which episodes were the most talked about, and so they know how, like, what things they should spend more time on and what things they should spend less time on when they're in the writers' room and discussing how these storylines are going to work out, you know, and how we're going to show these to the audience. So props to the creators of Black Sails for kind of to changing up the style a little bit, because a lot of shows, they just stick to what they want to do, and that kind of puts them in a hole. But Black Sails, I feel like, has kind of evolved a little bit, and that's why it's become such a great show. And like, so many people now who haven't watched it are now being like, I gotta watch the entire series because the show is so good.
And we know that they're watching us and listening to us and what we say, and when we have all these genius ideas about things, they're totally taking notes about that.
Don't worry. I told them last week at trivia. I'm not going to trivia today. I just thought about that.
Dang,
I would say I usually go to trivia with all the Black Sails people who I know work on the show after this, but I'm not going today. I'm going home to watch the Grammys.
Bummer.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Grammys trumps Black Sails trivia.
Goodness, this name in the chat. Come on, dude, I need some spaces or something. Ich liebe Shannon Moore. Ich liebe Shannon Moore. My name is Shannon Moore. There we go. It's just German. Okay. Did anyone else notice the Queen's face when Flint told her his name?
Yes. Notice that, but also I think why she's hesitant is because don't you feel like anyone could say they're Flint? Because he has such a well-known
reputation.
name.
She's obviously
And
heard of him.
So everyone's heard of Flint, but then it's like, so do I believe that that's actually the Flint, like I should be terrified of, or is he just another
This is the
pirate?
other thing, though. Flint was somebody who turned Eleanor against Mr. Scott. Obviously, there's letters and like communication been going back and forth between Mr. Scott and his queen.
Yes.
So Flint is somebody who maybe she doesn't want to like really like be easy on these guys, because she knows
got
that
a little
he's
bone
kind
to
of like
pick with him.
he's kind of screwed over her husband a little bit and like threatened their way of life before he was even on the island.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I think that's
we'll
going to be a huge thing when Mr. Scott, he better be alive. When he got shot, he's still alive. He's still alive, and I know he's going to the island now, so it's going to be very interesting to see what
it all
his
comes
reaction
to a
is going to
head,
be when he sees Flint, and whether he's going to be like, no, keep them alive, or off with their heads.
Yeah. The fact that he's actually going to be in full charge, you know what I mean, in
The
control
king.
over Flint
So
for like
interesting.
the first time, really, because
Oh,
he's
I
not
love that.
Eleanor's sidekick.
Yes.
You know?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm excited to see that. It'll be a good direction for that character, because he was kind of, like I
just
said.
there.
If they kill Mr. Scott, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah, don't do
Well,
it.
now you're upset, but like 2 episodes ago, you'd been like, oh, all right.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
he's
exactly.
gone. But now we're like, oh, there's more to it. Let's find out
So
more.
much more.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about our next little group of pirate guys, Jack, Vane, and Blackbeard, and that whole crew. So,
Aw, can we just talk about the bromance goodbye between Vane
adorable,
and...
right?
It was literally, it felt like a Han Solo Princess Leia moment. Like, you know, I love you, I know. Like,
yeah,
what do you
it was
think?
super
Like, I'm
cute.
nothing without you. Like, you're not here.
I love it because they're so, they are such opposites, and they didn't like each other initially, and they've grown to really respect each other, have each other's back. They're business partners now too, and so it was.
I don't think they completely like each other anymore, but they've been through so much at this point.
Well, you saw Vane's face when he found out that Jack wasn't going to come with him. He goes, like, "What do you mean? You're not."
Yeah, my escape.
Mine, not you. With me? What?
Dude, we're bros here. What's going on?
Take our shirts off. Come on.
And you're a little weenie. Come on, you got to try and escape too, for sure. Yeah, so Vane has a bounty on his head. We saw this, like, all the pirates are getting pardoned who want, except for Charles Vane.
Damn you, Eleanor.
I know, Eleanor.
That moment, though, when he finds out on the ship with Blackbeard, that moment of just seeing her through
Cold. Yeah.
It was incredible. She was just walking.
And it was such an I told you so face on Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is what happens when you choose a woman over your bro.
Well, then I love
Bros before hoes, buddy. You learn the hard way.
Well, the fact that Blackbeard actually called him out and was like, hey, by the way, if it comes to killing Eleanor or actually escaping, like, now what are you going to do, buddy?
Yeah.
And Vane's like, I'm going to kill that bitch. Is what he said.
But this is also what I want to know.
Yeah.
If Blackbeard comes to the point where it's either Vane or, like, if Vane is kind of at risk of dying, or, like, it's using Eleanor to get away from the island, who is Blackbeard gonna choose?
I think he'll choose Vane.
Yeah.
Think he will?
I think he's got that tender spot for him, even though Vane kind of wronged him and screwed him over. I think he'll...
Or do you think Blackbeard's keeping Vane close to, like, really stick it to him in the end?
I really like Blackbeard, and I want him to be, like, the good, jolly, badass pirate.
Jolly
father that comes
old
back.
Yeah, he's like the fatherly badass.
See, I just don't buy the fact that Vane...
Santa pirate.
That was great.
He's a Santa pirate.
I really want to see that. But I don't buy the fact that Vane would actually kill Eleanor now. I feel like he does, like, a lot of revenge things. But I don't think at the end of the day, like, he just said that to Blackbeard because he's like,
I think he would avoid having to kill her, and I think that might lead to Vane's demise.
Yeah, but it's just...
If he waits to
it
pull
would
the
be
trigger.
like I'm supposed to kill you, you run and never come back sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think that we could see that, but I think it would be go too far if...
What if it's I think it might be the situation where Vane literally is, like, maybe, like, right here with the gun to Eleanor, and he maybe, like, second guesses it, and Eleanor drives him through.
Oh, really?
I could see Eleanor doing that.
Yeah, because Eleanor's a bitch!
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe it's going to come down to saving Blackbeard or Eleanor right in that moment for some reason. And then he's going to really, really have to choose. But it's life or death right there.
I think he'd choose Blackbeard.
You think?
Yeah, I think at this point,
Yeah.
he made the mistake once before.
But I think Vane just love. You make all these mistakes in love, guys. Come on. Like, he
Vane,
loves
I want you to make
Eleanor.
this mistake.
Yeah.
How
about
I can be Eleanor for you. Really have the hair going.
I could be your better version of Eleanor.
Yeah.
You're better, Eleanor.
I don't think that
Eleanor
anybody was
2.0.
named Keetin back in the day. So
Yeah.
can't really pull
Their
that one
middle
off.
name. Their middle name is Keetin.
I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe.
So they staged this whole explosion at the fort, which is, on the one hand, Jack had been trying so hard to protect the fort and, do all this. And then he's like, well, we got to do what we got to do. Let's let her blow, And Vane escapes, and he's got a pretty badass, like, escape situation. Like, shoots that guy, like, right there, one of the first things, which totally...
Oh, can we also talk
shocked
about
me.
how Rackham, when, like, all those guys were coming to the fort banging on the door, like, to be like, just give us Vane, blah, blah, blah. And Rackham's like, oh, crap, we don't have much time. He literally opens the door and he asks him one question, and instead of, like, letting him in, he just goes, boom, and just shoots him in the head. I was like, whoa, Rackham!
Badass of
Rackham!
Oh, yeah, not expected at all.
I think it's because he
Racking
has
him
that
in.
bond with Vane, and he's, like, really protective of Vane, and that's why you're
Don't you
seeing,
touch
like,
my bro.
Yeah,
And
that
it's-
aggressiveness come out.
It's funny because Rackham so often is the comedic, sense in the episodes, and while that was such a violent moment, it was still hilarious. It caught me off guard for sure. I was like, ah! But
because it was random.
like, just like that.
It was just
yeah,
random.
so random.
Out
But
of
it,
character.
at the same time, it was comedic.
We were driving, and we had the phone.
Don't tell them these dangerous things that we're doing.
She puts me in dangerous
I know.
situations.
Hey, you know what?
You're like my
gotta
Vane,
do what you
and I'm
gotta
your
do.
Rackham.
I'll take it.
You're
I
like the
guess.
more
I'm so
muscly
hot.
one,
Let me feel my abs. What? Anyway, and then Blackbeard comes in to help
Saves
Vane
the
out
day.
too. I know. Yeah,
just
see,
right
so that's
there.
why I think
It's his daddy.
they've got each other's backs for sure.
And they were even able to be all sneaky with the ship on fire.
Yeah.
Yes,
sneaky.
let's talk about that. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was very well planned too.
Well planned, like such like a, I mean, that's like a Trojan horse move almost, you know?
Well, and they were just kind of using another ship to distract them, and so they could literally ram it into one of their ships that wasn't ready at arms, and they could destroy
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, ramming
One ship
device.
at a time.
And speaking of the fire
ship,
we'll talk about Eleanor in a second, but the fact that as soon as the fire started going onto their ship, Woods and Eleanor's, Woods immediately put Eleanor inside and was like protecting her, making sure she was safe.
Yes,
I
want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about that?
So I thought it was a good transition from the fire into there. But
let's talk about that. So they are bonding seriously this episode.
Like homies, like
yeah,
real close.
you know, like, oh well, why, you know, talking about feelings and like, why did you choose to pick me, or why, like all this stuff that I feel like is more than just this strategic partnership. Yes, I think he for sure has a crush on her, and I think we're gonna see something happen there.
Some
Anyone
heat,
else?
some fire,
Yeah,
some more
heat.
fire next episode.
Eleanor's lonely. Nobody likes her except Woods.
Yeah.
Even if it is just
Woods is gonna give her
strategically.
some wood.
Oh,
But do you think it's
boom.
going to be sincere from Eleanor, or it's just going to be using him once again, or you think she's actually going to fall for him? I know it's hard to know.
Well,
with
I mean, she
Eleanor.
does like her like bad boys and stuff. So maybe, you know,
Wouldn't
we
really
know
call
that.
Woods a
No, I
bad
wouldn't either.
boy.
But we know he's got some history with all those scars he
Scars,
has
yeah.
and those stories.
I think that's when he's gonna like give her some like really like they're gonna have this moment where they're alone in his office.
he takes
and-
his shirt off.
No,
and
he's
got,
just
like,
gonna
this
he's gonna
slice
tell
down.
her like some like background story. They're gonna get closer, and she's gonna like follow the scar down his neck.
Yeah,
and
she's
unbutton his shirt.
then we're gonna find
Exactly.
the
Yes,
romance
it's gonna be
Bang
like,
on the desk.
oh my gosh, yeah. Like, how did this happen to you? You're so wild.
Yeah, and then she's gonna.
You're so much
Brave.
more
Then she's gonna do what she did.
vain
so
like than I
piratey.
thought.
You're so piratey. I love you.
You're
But
such
you're
a
also
pirate.
rich
You
politician.
know what? I really want them to bang in the room of gold.
Somebody
Like, why
needs to
would
do
you
it.
not?
If the room of gold is still
on
there.
a bed of gold coins?
Why would you not? And Bonnie and Rackham, why have you not?
Yeah,
See, I don't know if they would be the hot couple I'd choose to do that.
No.
I just somebody, please,
So-
before
yeah,
it goes
I
back
agree.
to Spain.
Or gets
Or Treasure
transferred
Island.
into
It's not Blackbeard, please.
wheat or whatever. Yeah.
No bueno.
Not Blackbeard? Oh, I have like a tiny crush on Blackbeard.
crush?
You
You have
guys. I do.
Do you have like
You and
daddy
Sam
issues here?
No,
My
I just think
God.
he's so cool.
Yeah, he's
And
pretty
he's such
awesome.
a badass.
He's pretty awesome.
Oh, come on.
Hi, Silver.
But yeah,
Well,
but
yeah.
Hi, ho, Silver.
So do you think that Woods is only making Eleanor then the lead advisor because he's having a crush, or because he sincerely trusts her opinion?
I think he's just being as smart as he can be right now because
Yeah, I could see both angles.
this is why I think Eleanor's like she's screwed. She has nothing to lose at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's one of the reasons her back is against the wall, so he can almost trust her more because like she has no other like outlet or safety for him, and everything she's told him thus far has been like true. So she's done nothing to break his trust. Where all these other guys are just money hungry and like wanting to get to his position. So she doesn't care about his position. She just wants to stay alive.
Right.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
I love the interaction between them too. And he's basically like, "Why does everyone on the island hate you? Why do they not trust you? Tell me right now before things have blown up. Just give it to me straight."
Right.
She basically is like, "Yeah, you shouldn't trust me. Like, I'm a horrible human being." He's like, "All right, cool. Yeah, still be my advisor."
he's
I'm like,
like,
"Okay,
okay.
you're psychotic, but all right,
Right.
cool."
He's like, well, you're cute.
Yeah,
So,
you're
so
cute.
Silver Hawkins is dropping some Woods Rogers knowledge on us right now. So he says Silver, sorry, I don't know. Rogers was a pirate himself, only he was a legally authorized pirate who carried a letter of marque to let him plunder the Spanish. And the Spaniards shot him in the face, which is where the scar came from. Thank you, Silver Hawkins, for that info.
Shot him in
Loving
the
your input
face.
today.
No way.
That's
But
a
I-
scar or shot in the face is gonna leave.
It is
I don't
very
know.
like slicey.
Do you know what it
Yeah.
feels like to me? It's like if anybody reads the Game of Thrones books versus watches the TV series, like Tyrion is supposed to like have a really messed up face, and he really doesn't in the TV show. That's what that reminds me of. They made him TV pretty for it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
He's a sexy
pretty
man.
scars. He should look more like Mask. The Phantom.
Yeah, the fan
Phantom,
exactly.
Sorry. Wrong person. Mask.
The Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Eleanor and Woods, I think there's going to be some romance.
Next week.
I don't think next week. I think maybe in like 2 episodes.
Like it's really stressing me out though because the tension is just building a lot.
The relationship was markedly different this week than last week from them being like kind of not bickering, but like, well, fine, this is my best option. I guess I'll come with you.
Like,
to now being very like the way he was asking questions. Like in my notes, I'm like, could there be romance?
Yeah.
Could there?
And, like interesting
Definitely.
relationship. Yeah.
Definitely
And
romance.
do you think that she was actually just walking the decks so that Vane would see her?
No, I don't think she was.
That's what Vane and Blackbeard were talking
No,
about.
I think Blackbeard said that on purpose to him.
Okay,
To
right.
like really get
Well, because doesn't she think she thinks he's dead?
She thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But does she think she's dead? Completely dead?
No, she
No,
thinks
no.
Flint's dead.
She thinks Flint's dead.
and
Vane
is
thinks
dead.
Eleanor's
She was
dead.
dead.
Yeah, you guys are confusing me here.
But she
Sorry.
doesn't. She doesn't know that Vane's on that ship. At this point they're trying to find Vane.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She was not doing that on purpose.
Right.
Just Blackbeard
Exactly.
trying to get Vane against her even more.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Silver. Where is this coming from? Because I know we didn't see it in the episode. The musket ball lodged into his jaw and knocked teeth out onto the deck. Instead of whining about it, he went on relaying orders in written form and won the battle.
Well, that's maybe from history.
Right. Yeah.
History. Yeah. Not TV
No, I know.
You're
get
like,
that.
I wish we saw this. I want to see it.
I know. All this knowledge.
Montage.
It's great. That's why I love this show, though, is because it is like some truth to it.
Such a
which is
cool mix
great.
of fiction and real life
it's okay
historical
if you put
events.
if you put like a sword scar instead of a gun scar in
Right.
the face, it's all right.
Well, and not only that, we have 3 different competing or angles that we're working with. True history are Treasure Island books, and then also the fiction, that the writers and Black Sails team is coming up with. So we've got all those 3 angles that are kind of working to make this. So it makes it so much more fun. Like such a cool show. So do we think that the island where Flint and Silver and all of them are could be Treasure Island?
Yes.
Probably. Most likely. I mean, if we're ready in season 3, so I mean, it's about time that they kind of give us a glimpse as to what it would be.
And we know that, well, spoiler alert, but this is, from the books and stuff, but I believe know that, what is his name? Ben Gunn is left on Treasure Island after Flint buries the treasure. And so, I mean, it makes sense that they're kind of in that area, and that would be a good island to strand somebody on.
So, okay, yeah, we'll talk in predictions then. 'Cause now
Oh, yeah, let's get into predictions.
Should we do predictions?
I think
I think we can.
I think we're ready.
We touched everything.
Okay.
All right.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
Oh, yeah.
prediction.
Okay, I'm gonna go right now then, because this is right where we were talking about. Then maybe, going off of that, maybe the Urker Gold is actually going to come to Treasure Island, or Treasure Island, the island that they all are on, and this is where the burial site's going to be.
Well,
this is how
time
they're
out.
going to get it out.
Maybe Mr. Scott's bringing the gold
Yeah,
there now.
Maybe with all the slaves. Maybe the slaves all took it without people even knowing, and
But
that's
how,
they're escaping.
how did they...
I don't know.
How did they orchestrate this without us knowing?
And then that's how Flint's going to be in charge of the gold once it gets there, or something. I don't know.
Okay. Ooh,
Yeah.
look at this
crazy,
big
right?
prediction.
This is a lot. You just
Nadine
dropped a lot
DP.
on
Gave me
me.
some history, and now I'm just throwing out these predictions.
I think when Mr.
Dangerous with
Scott
history.
gets the island, he's going to see that Flint is somebody that he would rather have as an ally than
Oh, yeah.
dead.
Yes.
And I think Mr. Scott's going to keep Flint alive. And yeah.
Well, Mr. Scott doesn't, he was always, like I said earlier, voice of reason for Eleanor, not impulsive, thinks rationally about things and logically, and, isn't reactionary. So I think he will.
And he's a good dude.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
I
kept
think
a
he
whole
will see
island
the greater
surviving.
good.
Yeah, he's kept a whole secret
Exactly.
island going on its own, and so he's pretty reliable.
Right.
I'll say that.
Exactly. Okay. Shoot. What do I think? Yeah, definitely think that, they're all going to unite next week. I think we are going to see some romance between Woods and Eleanor
go now.
for sure. Those are kind of, those aren't huge predictions, but those are mine. I think we'll see that love connection next week. I mean, we're gearing up for a big battle.
Yeah, I want to see more fighting.
Yeah.
I really need some
No,
more.
I enjoyed
fighting.
this episode with slightly less fighting. It was just a little more like cool
It was a
characters.
good balance of
Do we
a little bit
think
of everything.
Princess has a thing for Silver?
Possibly how quickly she wanted to interrogate him out of everyone. So
You
that may
with
be a
me.
thing.
Who's
the
Wait till the
quartermaster?
middle of the night.
You?
You're coming with
Blue
me.
eyes, come on.
Peg leg.
Yeah.
Get over
She's
here.
into it. She's into it.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, he could use a lady. I think he's feeling. He's like a little depressed these days. You know,
He's
it's like,
looking really rough
I've
too.
run
Can we
out of
trim up his
lies. I
beard,
can't
please?
He's
lie
dealing
anymore.
with Flint, guys. I mean, I would look like that too. And you have a peg leg, and you haven't been eating, and you're not getting any care, guys. Leave him alone for a second. Leave your man alone. all
Silver,
right?
I just, I have high expectations. I know how good you can look. I just want it back.
Eventually, very soon. So yeah, so I think next episode is gonna be good. I'm excited for it.
Cool. I think it'll be intense.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Well, guys out there in internet land, thank you so much for watching with us this week and for chatting with us in the chat. Silver Hawkins, Ich Bean, Ich Liebe, Shannon Moore.
Shannon Moore's with us every week.
And other people. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Next week, we'll be right back here just as usual. And you can find me, Lauren Salaun, everywhere on social media at Lauren Salaun. That's spelled Salaun. Lauren, like you normally spell Lauren. Especially Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, those places.
Yeah.
How about you, ladies?
Is that how everyone normally spells Lauren like that?
Lauren. There we go.
I love it. Yeah, you can find me on social media at Nadine DP and the number 3.
And you guys can find me all over social media at Keetin Marchi, Keetin Marchi, because nobody knows how to spell my name. How you normally spell Keetin Marchi. Thanks for watching.
All right, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Blue Apron.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.